Whether you have a child about to head off to college or you're thinking about going back to school yourself, financial help is available, but navigating the forms and steps that come with it can be super overwhelming. Here to help us better understand financial aid and what options are available to us is Tina Steele. She is known as the FAFSA Guru. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
For being here with us.
Yeah.
You have been helping people understand financial aid for more than 30 years at this point. What do you like about your job?
Well, financial aid is confusing. It's overwhelming. College is expensive. Families are navigating it for the first time. So I think I'm an educator at heart, so I love educating families, helping them better understand the process, and really ensuring that they're tapping into all of the financial aid resources that they can and taking the stress out of the process for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So financial aid, it can be super complicated, but let's start with the basics. So most people have heard of a FAFSA before, but in basic terms, what is it and why should somebody fill out one of these forms?
Yes, so the FAFSA is known as the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. This is a free federal form that the government puts out that students can fill out to apply for monies to help them pay for college. So in filling it out, they're applying for federal and state financial aid and in some cases institutional scholarship money, and it's a form they need to fill out every single year.
Okay, every single year. So as we mentioned, the forms can be confusing. What are 3 pieces of advice that you have for people as they're filling out these forms?
So the first piece of advice would be to fill it out early. The earlier you fill it out, the better. It's kind of like the early bird gets the worm when it comes to financial aid. The second piece of advice would be to create your FSA IDs prior to filling it out. Every student needs to create an FSA ID along with at least one parent when filling out a FAFSA form. This allows them to fill it out electronically. It takes a few days for the Social Security Administration to verify. So fill that out, and then the last piece of advice would be students or parents that are divorced or separated. If they filed a joint tax return for 2023, it's really important that they answer the marital status question correctly.
Okay.
Because if they don't, it's going to import both of their incomes and calculate financial aid based on that versus just one. So it's very, very important they answer that correctly.
Right, and obviously people are looking to get the most out of their financial aid package. Do you have some strategies for people?
Fill it out early is always the big one. Don't make common mistakes. There's a couple of assets you don't have to report on the FAFSA, which is the value of the primary home you live in and the value of retirement accounts. Those are 2 other big mistakes that I see.
So most times it's, parents of high school seniors that are filling out these forms. But if you're an adult that's looking to go back to school, can you also apply?
Absolutely. Any student, regardless of age, can fill out a FAFSA form and be considered for federal and state aid along with institutional scholarship money, no matter what age. I was a non-traditional adult student myself, so.
It's good to know that there are options out there. And speaking of options, what other financial resources are out there for students and families to take advantage of?
So there's a lot of outside scholarships. This is where I see students leaving thousands of dollars on the table. Scholarships from different organizations based on a number of different factors such as, grades and interests, abilities, financial need, and things like that. So applying for outside scholarships consistently can really help a family. There's also private education loans that students can apply for to help them pay for college, although I caution them on getting into too much debt.
Right.
And Parent Plus loans.
Also, good choice. So say that you apply for FAFSA and you get the number back and you're not happy with it. Is there a way to get more money?
There can be, yes. So I am a big advocate for students appealing their financial aid offers.
Okay.
Statistically, about 80% of the students I work with through that process will receive additional financial aid. I've seen it range anywhere from a few $1,000s all the way up to $30,000.
Wow.
I mean, the worst colleges are going to say is no. And the appeal process actually happens directly through the college financial aid office, not FAFSA, which a lot of people are confused about.
Yeah, might as well put yourself out there.
Right.
What do you have to lose? So in the past, financial aid has been handled by the Department of Education. President Trump wants to put that into the hands of the Small Business Administration. If that is the case, if that happens, a lot of people are wondering, is this going to impact the way that I receive financial aid? Is that clear right now?
It's not super clear. I've been getting bombarded with questions regarding this. This is going to be a wait and see what happens type of situation. A lot of us in the field and us professionals are concerned about the infrastructure and the ability for them to handle the sheer volume. So we anticipate there being some issues, but what I'm telling people right now is to just relax and not panic.
That's good. That's good advice.
Yeah.
You mentioned filling out the form early. Are there dates or deadlines that we need to keep in mind around financial aid?
Yeah, so if anybody's thinking about college for this fall of 25 or spring of 26 and you have not filled out a FAFSA yet, you need to get that done as soon as possible. For anybody that will be going to college for the fall of 26 and 27, you want to do the FAFSA that opens up October 1st. And then if you are applying early action or early decision to any colleges, you have to check with the colleges for their priority filing deadlines. Very, very important.
Yeah. All right, a lot of information that we're
Yeah.
throwing out to people, but it's super important stuff to know.
Yeah.
So Tina Steele, the FAFSA Guru, thank you so much.
Thank you for having
For
me.
coming in, we really appreciate it. We're going to have a link to some of the resources available to you. It's through our website and app. And stay with us, we've got more 207 for you right after this.